I'm Larry Menti. Welcome back to Jersey Matters. It is not against the law to drive a bicycle in New Jersey without a helmet. The question is, if you're over a certain age, the question is, why not? Ken Serrano has been asking that question, and he's writing a story for the Asbury Park Press and APP.com. And this all started with a well-publicized fatality in the area.
Yeah, in November, Larry, we had a tragic death in the borough of Fairhaven in Monmouth County. A councilman was killed, borough councilman, in a bicycle accident. And his name was Jerome Koch, and he was known for driving around town on his bicycle, picking up trash and recyclables on the side of a road, on the side of the road with a grabber, putting them into a bag and driving off with it. But that devotion to keeping the borough clean took a tragic turn on November 29th. So the only witness in the case was the driver of the car, the only direct witness. And what she says is he had a bag of garbage in one hand. He lost control of the bike. She tried to veer out of the way. He turned into her. He hit the windshield. Police and medics came to the scene and saw that he had an apparent severe head injury. Now, we've gone over the investigative report, and there's no mention of a helmet in the property records or anything like that. We're not totally sure if he wasn't wearing one, but there is no mention. So what we did was we took a look at—
for one second. If, with that type of accident, since he hit the windshield, you would think a helmet could have saved his life.
Well,
if he had one.
Well, you know, there's not enough detail in that investigative report to draw that conclusion, but you know, that's a strong suspicion when you read it, obviously. You know, and again, we don't know if he wasn't wearing one, but it appears that he was not.
And that story got you looking at the issue and looking into some statistics.
Right, federal accident fatality stats. So we took a look at that, and what we found is this. In a 4-year period, 2010 and 2013, those are the most recently available figures, 58 people died in bicycle accidents in New Jersey. Here's the kicker, okay? Only 4 of them were wearing helmets. Wow. Now that mirrors national stats. But bear in mind that in New Jersey, you only have to wear a helmet if you're 16 or under. And this is the thing that blew my mind, okay? There is no state that requires helmets for bicycle riders for all ages. No universal bicycle helmet law in any state in the country. So,
is there anybody pushing for it? Is there anybody saying we should have this?
Well, you know, you would think that there was, right? But here's what the bicycle safety advocates say. They encourage bicycle helmet use, okay? But they are strictly opposed to a universal bicycle helmet law. This is their reasoning, okay? There's safety in numbers, okay? So if they had that law in place, bicycle use would drop. So the more bike riders that are out there, the greater the awareness is among motorists of bike riders. That's their argument.
Well, and a cynic would say the more money you would make in selling bikes and the more money you would make in bicycling equipment as well, and the more power you have as an organization if you have more members.
Well, yeah, right. I won't take your position, but I understand it. So, you know, so we have that. So that was surprising.
I said a cynic would say. I didn't say it was mine.
Correction. So we have that fact, that glaring fact that it does not appear that there's going to be any universal bike helmet coming down. That's surprising, given the 30-year history of, you know, this emphasis on personal safety and legislation encouraging it. I mean, just kind of surprised me. There's towns, there's counties, and there's cities that require universal bike helmets, but not everywhere. Now,
and the statistics would bear out that you talked about a moment ago. The statistics would bear out that if there was such a law, it would save lives.
Well, you know what? That's a very robust debate going on, whether helmets are effective or not.
You just told me statistics on the number of people that died and how many were.
Well, here, that's what you can draw from all this. But you know what? I found one study, an Australian study from 2013, that said the use of helmets, and they studied 6,500 bike accidents in Australia. The use of helmets, okay, reduces the risk of a head injury, a serious head injury, by up to 74%. Here's the wrinkle, though. People who don't use helmets display far riskier riding behavior, you know. So with that in mind, yeah, you would think that wearing helmets is much safer for people. I'll tell you what, there's good news in these stats, believe it or not. Okay, in the early 70s, 85% of the people killed in bicycle accidents were children, people 15 and under. Right now, that figure's about 13%. So, you know, you can probably you can probably draw a conclusion
Right,
that
that's what
the imposition of bike helmets for children may have led to greater safety. Now, only about 20 or so states require bike helmets for children. Some states do not require that.
But New Jersey does. New
Correct.
Jersey is one of the states that do. But
Correct.
nobody does for adults.
No state requires it for everyone. Again, counties, cities, towns, some of them do, but no state.
I'll go 3 feet around a bicyclist as soon as they start wearing a helmet. How about that? Thanks so much for being here. It is a fascinating story, and we'll be able to read Ken Serrano's story on the Asbury Park Press and at app.com. And all of his stuff that he writes. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Guess what? There are dinosaurs in New Jersey, and they are at a threat of going extinct. This is a new story. I'm not talking about in the past. I'll explain when we come right back on Jersey Matters.